Every reason Yang Hansen might be the steal of the 2025 draft. Explained in 12 minutes, he wasn't invited to the green room. ESPN had him going in the second round. Yet somehow, one front office saw what nobody else did. A 7 feet 1 inch Chinese phenom with Jokic-level vision, lockdown defense, and shocking agility. Did Portland just pull off the biggest draft heist of 2025? There's always one. One name that makes fans scratch their heads on draft night, until the highlights start rolling in. This year, that name was Yang Hansen. The Portland Trail Blazers had the 16th pick. Most mock drafts had them targeting a wing or a scoring guard. ESPN's board didn't even have Yang in the top 30. No green room invite, no flashy college highlights, no viral mixtapes, just silence. Until Adam Silver called his name, and everyone in the room paused. Who? What the Blazers saw wasn't hype, it was substance. At 7 feet 1, 260 pounds, Hansen's measurements scream old school center, but his game, it's something else entirely. And the fact that he slipped past 15 other teams might go down as the biggest mistake of this draft class. Let's rewind. Hansen played in the Chinese Basketball Association, a pro league, not a college system. While other 19-year-olds were grinding through double majors and March Madness, Hansen was battling grown men. And he wasn't just surviving, he was dominating. Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. That doesn't happen in pro leagues, especially not for teenagers. By his second year, the numbers looked even crazier. 16.6 points, 10.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2.6 blocks per game on 58% shooting. That's not development, that's a takeover. And still, ESPN had him at number 36. Why? Because Hansen didn't fit the narrative. No college tournament buzzer beaters, no AAU drama, no slick trainers filming off-season workouts for Instagram. But scouts who dug deeper found something scary, a 7-footer who passes like a guard and moves like a forward. At the NBA Combine, Yang showed up and destroyed the stereotypes. In shuttle drills, the kind meant to test lateral movement and quickness, he beat lottery-level guards. He ran faster than Dylan Harper, faster than Jeremiah Fears, two of the twitchiest players in the class. For a guy labeled too slow for the league, it turned some heads. But the real shocker, his feel for the game. NBA insiders started whispering it after his second scrimmage at the Combine. He sees the floor like Jokic. It was meant as a compliment, but the truth might be more dangerous. Hansen might see it even earlier. Where Jokic relies on hesitation and angles, Hansen makes decisions on the fly. High post reads, short roll kickouts, full court outlet passes, and he's only 20. You don't teach that. That's why Portland didn't blink, because they'd seen it before. Flashes of international brilliance that slip under the radar. Think Manu Ginobili, think Marc Gasol, think Giannis before the transformation. Yang Hansen is in that category, maybe better. Now add this layer, defense. In the CBA, he wasn't just a rim protector. He was the defensive anchor for an entire system. Rotations, help side reads, vertical contests. He was elite across the board. His block average wasn't empty stat chasing, it was control. He didn't jump out of position. He timed you, trapped you, shut down pick and rolls with his mind, not just his wingspan. The Blazers, a team trying to rebuild around youth and grit, just landed a guy who can both run the offense and quarterback the defense. That's not a project, that's a future franchise cornerstone. And there's more. Yang signed with Clutch Sports. That's Rich Paul. That's LeBron's inner circle. Draymond, Anthony Davis. You don't get into that club unless they see something marketable, durable, and bankable. For Portland, this adds another dimension. Not only did they draft a player, they added someone with global brand reach, media protection, and long-term strategic value. And speaking of global, let's talk about the 1.4 billion fans watching from across the Pacific. China hasn't had a true NBA superstar since Yao Ming. Yang Hansen might be the next wave. His name dominated headlines in Beijing the night he was drafted. And guess what? He hasn't played a single NBA minute yet. Portland might have just inherited an international fan base. We're talking jersey sales, sponsorships, sold-out road games. Yao made the Rockets a household name in China. Hansen has the potential to do the same for Rip City. Now here's the twist. Portland isn't in win-now mode. They're rebuilding piece by piece, which means Hansen isn't under pressure to carry the franchise day one. He can grow, develop chemistry with Scoot Henderson, anchor a young core that's still figuring itself out. And that might be the most dangerous part of all, because the only thing scarier than a 7-footer who can pass like Jokic, move like a guard, and defend like Bam is one who's allowed to grow without pressure. But just when you think you've seen all of Yang Hansen's upside, he adds another layer to his game that nobody expected. Leadership. It started quietly. During Portland's Summer League practices, reporters noticed something strange. It wasn't Scoot Henderson directing huddles. It wasn't the coaching staff raising voices. It was Yang, calmly pointing out defensive coverages, pulling rookies aside after missed rotations, calling out switches mid-drill in perfect English. Remember, this is a kid who just moved continents, and already he's commanding the floor like a veteran. But leadership is just one part of the storm brewing in Portland. Because when you zoom out, you realize the Blazers didn't just draft a player. They drafted leverage. Clutch Sports isn't just a talent agency, it's a machine. With Yang under their wing, Portland gains immediate access to relationships, sponsorship pipelines, and influence in future negotiations. That matters, especially for a franchise that struggled to attract marquee free agents in the past. Let's be real, it's hard to get stars to commit to Portland, but Yang changes that because he brings the kind of global spotlight that makes other players, even veterans, pay attention. He makes Rip City a destination, not an afterthought. And if that wasn't enough, there's the money. The NBA has been trying to rebuild its bridge with Chinese fans since the fallout in 2019. Yang Hansen could be that bridge. He's already being labeled the next face of Chinese basketball. His CBA games pulled millions of views per night. He has brand partnerships lined up back home. Now imagine what happens when he starts putting up double-doubles in the NBA. Portland's front office isn't just thinking about stats. They're thinking about international media rights, merchandise, overseas preseason games. They know what Yao Ming did for Houston. They're betting Yang could do the same, and maybe more. But let's pull it back to the court, because for all the marketing and hype, it's the gameplay that really makes him the steal. The last time a player this overlooked turned into a franchise superstar, it was Giannis. Drafted 15th, too raw, too skinny, too foreign. Sound familiar? Fast forward to now. Multiple MVPs, a championship, and one of the most dominant forces the game has ever seen. No one's saying Yang is guaranteed to hit that level, but the early signs, they're eerily similar. His combination of frame, agility, and IQ is something scouts spend years trying to find, and Portland got it at 16. Even scarier, he's still adding range. In his final CBA season, he shot 33% from deep on limited attempts. That number's only going up. In pre-draft workouts, he was knocking down corner threes like a seasoned stretch 5. If he adds a reliable jumper to everything else, game over. And here's where it gets even wilder. Hansen's path mirrors another draft gem. Draymond Green, undersold, undervalued, picked outside the top 10. But what made Draymond special wasn't his stats, it was his impact. His ability to control pace, direct traffic, shut down offenses, and elevate his teammates. That's exactly what Portland sees in Hansen, only he's taller, younger, and might already be better offensively. That's the wildest part. Hansen isn't just a defensive presence or a passing big, he's a system. You can build an entire playbook around him. Let him operate from the elbow. Use him as a hub like the Nuggets do with Jokic. Run backdoor cuts, post splits, horns actions, all centered around his vision and feel. And let's not forget, he's already doing this at a pro level, against former NBA players, on a real stage. Not college, not G League. Actual pressure, actual crowds, real stakes. In fact, don't be surprised if halfway through the season, we start hearing phrases like top rookie defender, rookie all-NBA buzz, or steal of the draft during broadcasts, because the blueprint is already there. Yang Hansen was never supposed to be here. Not this high, not this fast, not this good, but here he is, and he's just getting started. If you're as hyped about Yang Hansen's rise as we are, let us know down in the comments. We're watching every game with popcorn in hand. Don't forget to hit like, share it with a friend who still thinks he was a reach, and of course, subscribe so you don't miss the next Draft Gem story.